Yo, 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 it's your boy, Dayvito. We are Dead Religion, and I am not by myself. I got my people from the swamp, Mr. Jerome Colbert. Say what's up to everybody, man.
What's going on, people? We are back again. We're gonna bring some swamp juice. That's gonna be real tasty, and it's all about this purpose that we've been talking about. So guys, stay tuned.
That's right, man, that's right. So last week we talked about how do you know what your purpose is. We kind of peeled the onion back a little bit, talked about a few things in regards to, how to find your purpose. For me, I said that, it starts with knowing that God has a plan for your life and trusting the process and taking action and things like that. This week, we wanted to, what happens after you discovered your purpose? So you discovered your purpose, now what?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last episode. You brought it up, is taking action. And that's truly like deploying that purpose that God has aligned in your spirit. A good way to really to deploy that purpose is start being a mentor. Start mentoring people that need some guidance in their life. Your purpose will be mostly around leadership and having a heart for others. That's something that is very highly recommendable. There's different avenues that you could take. One of the scenarios one of the situations where I really find my gift is in my professional career is leading younger professionals that come up through the company that are really just starting to get their start and trying to discover who they are in the business world. And since I got a little seasoning with me now, I'm able to share some of that experience and give them some knowledge and give them the right tools in their arsenal to be successful. So that's the key, man. Whenever you find and you know what that purpose is, you got to take action, because it's all about giving back to others.
Bro,
and doing right for others.
You must have been the type of student that looked over people's shoulder and took the answers, man, because that was definitely one of my talking points on how on what to do once you've discovered your purpose. Definitely, I think the key to everything is really helping other people find their purpose, right? Yeah. If you've gone through the hell and the high water, you know what I'm saying? You done gone through the mud, right? And you finally made it out. You finally got purpose. You know what that purpose is. You're living with that intentionality. You're taking that action. It is an absolute responsibility for you to then help other people make it to where you've made it. And I agree with you 100%. I believe mentorship is one of the biggest things that you've got to do, man. You've got to pour into others, man, because, you mentioned it in one of the episodes, man. Like, when you get into a room and you start, hearing people sharing and people talking, kind of not to say that you're above anybody, right? But you kind of know where they're at in life.
What we call that? We call that the vibe, right?
The vibe. There you go. You can feel vibes, exactly. You know what I'm saying? You feel the vibe from them, right?
Right.
And so a lot of times, and I could be wrong, man. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You hear somebody share their heart, or you hear somebody talking about a situation, whether it be a frustrated situation, or maybe they handle some adversity or something like that. And the way that they talk about the adversity, the way they talk about the problem, it's almost like automatically, bro, there's a better approach to this. Or, hey, bro, have you thought about it like this? Maybe you're like, oh my God, I went through that, 2-3 years ago. Man, I just went through that last week, right? And you learned a valuable lesson. Your takeaway from that situation was meant for such a time as this, because you know that you got a key that can help unlock the solution to that person's problem. I don't know if that happens to you, dog, but that seems to happen to me more than I can count.
Man, you peeking into my brain. You say I'm peeking over your shoulder. So a key indicator for that happening is you're in that room and someone is feeling that way. And a lot of people think that their purpose has to be monumental. It has to be something that, exceeds the entire world, changes the world. But it could be something as influential as loving people, right? Mm-hmm. Connecting with someone when they hear a story that they've had challenging, and you've had that personal experience. You get to share some purpose in this person's life of how you overcame that adversity to help them work through the situation that they're in. And that moves mountains. It doesn't have to be, again, monumental, but it still moves mountains.
That's right. Ooh, man, let me tell y'all something, man. If y'all not taking notes, okay, take out your pen, get a little sheet of paper, and I want you to write this down. What has broken you will build others.
Yes.
What has broken you will build others. Sometimes you hit it right on the head, bro. You want this monumental, like, you want this epiphany, you want this revelation, you want this enormous, like, wow factor of what you went through. But truthfully, what you went through could possibly be, the whole purpose of it could be just to offer encouragement to someone else who's going through the exact same thing that you're going through, or who's experiencing. Look, I got divorced, man, and that divorce was brutal. Oh, bro, when I tell you, man, even my worst of worst enemies, I would not wish that divorce on them. It was brutal, dog. It took every emotion, it took everything out of me. And I didn't even know then what I know now. I didn't have, my screws was loose, bro. Like, hands down, my screws was loose back then. And they might be a little screwed. They may be a little loose now too, man. But
now you're walking in a purposeful path now. So
well, the screws are a little tight now.
A little bit now.
They're just a little tighter now. Yeah. That's all it is, man. You know what I'm saying? But you're right, man. Just what you go through sometimes, man, and why certain things happen to you, man, is it could just be to offer simple encouragement to someone else and say, hey, I know you're gonna make it. Hey, this too shall pass. Hey, here's my helping hand, bro. I'm gonna help you get out of this, right? Like, sometimes that's literally all you need. Sometimes that's what your purpose could really be all about, man. It's just to offer encouragement to somebody else so that you can pass it forward and say, hey, you know what? It's gonna be all right. We gonna be all right.
Right. We said it earlier. So the purpose is not about you. And the core of purpose is centered around love. God is love. So those purposeful moments that we have, it's all about loving and caring for other people. The world needs more love. You can find a lot of purpose in loving people. And when you're doing that, it makes you and it fulfills you as a person in your spirit. And that's amazing.
Yes, it is.
That's amazing.
Yes, it is. I think another thing that happens once you discover purpose, like, what do you do after you discover purpose? I think that you have to learn how to struggle well.
Yes.
By now, if you got hair on your chinny chin, you got some seasoning on your face or on your head.
You're struggling because there's a purpose for that struggle.
Bam, exactly, bro. So if first of all, struggling that is all encompassing. It does not discriminate. You don't struggle based off of your gender or even your race.
Well, here's the thing. So people look at struggle like it's a bad word.
Come on, man.
Is it really a bad word?
Is it really a bad word? It's only bad depending on how you handle struggle.
Whew.
How you handle struggle determines how bad struggle is.
Note taking right now. You got to be note taking.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, bro, struggling is inevitable. There is no success without struggle.
Yes.
Without pain, there's no gain. Without pain, there's no purpose.
Right.
Period. So if you already know that the road to success goes down struggle lane, then it's up to you to struggle well. You cannot control how you're going to struggle. You cannot control what the struggle is going to be. There's two things that's for sure. Number one, the struggle is real. And number two, the way you handle that struggle will make it a struggle, or it will make it what's the word I'm looking for, bro? It'll either make it a struggle or it'll make it your success.
Yeah.
Point blank, period, man. Like, how you handle struggle, knowing that it's coming, knowing that it's inevitable, knowing that it's a part of the purpose, right? The goal, the end result, the outcome, right? Then it's up to us to be able to say, you know what? I'm going to struggle. I know it's coming. I know it's going to happen. I'm going to choose to struggle well.
Man, when you said struggle well, I immediately applied it to the business world. And the first thought that came into my mind was Jeff Bezos and how he started Amazon in his garage, and it was a platform to sell books. So think about all the struggles that he had building that brand to what it is now, to where it's the trillion-dollar company.
Yep.
And there was struggles.
Yeah.
Immense amount of struggles, I'm sure, that he faced.
Yeah.
But he struggled well.
Yeah.
And now that success that we talk about happens because you learn how to get through some of those challenging times, and you turn that struggle into something that is great.
Worthwhile. Exactly. You turn it into success. So I actually was in the military. I actually joined the Army when I was 21 years old. And from day one, the whole purpose, the whole reason that you do boot camp is to struggle every single day that you're there. But it's through that struggle that you get stronger, and not just stronger physically. You realize after a few weeks, you realize, man, this is more mental than it is anything else. I can do the push-ups because you done did the push-ups for like 2 weeks, right? You're going through hell week, going through all that. They try to make you eat off fast. Like after a while, your body can actually start doing the push-ups. It got to a point where I would run these 5 miles and bro, I hardly even break a sweat. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to brag or boast or anything like that, man. But it's like my body adjusted to the condition of my struggle. You know what I'm saying? To the point where it wasn't a struggle no more. It was actually becoming much easier. I wasn't surviving, I was thriving. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think about that in life so much, man, because the whole reason that you become a soldier is for the worst of situations to take place and you to be able to survive through that situation. And if one of your brothers doesn't make it, then you can help them you can pull them out of trouble. You can pull them out of the struggle and get them to success and get them to safety, right? Mm-hmm. So struggling well is such a key once you've discovered your purpose, because you know that what you're going through is actually getting you through where you want to go and ultimately onto your destination. That's how you accomplish your destiny, man. That's how you reach it right there, man. You got to struggle well, man. The other thing I'll say about, once you discovered your purpose, now what is, I believe that the whole reason why struggling well, and we talked about this, is helping others, but it's to establish followable excellence. When I'm an emotional person, right? And I can think of them firecracker moments that I had back when I was 19, 20, 21, and now obviously in my mid 30s, right? Like, I can look back at the way that I handled certain situations and certain things that happened to me, and I realize that they're still happening today. Those same things, those same, pet peeves, those same little actions, the same type of people, like, it still affects me today. You know what I'm saying? But most people will not care what you have to say until they know how much you care about them. And so when you establish followable excellence, what you're doing is you're saying, hey, I can show you better than I can tell you. My actions are speaking louder than my words. And so when you establish followable excellence, people then look at you and be like, man, this dude, was in traffic and somebody cut him off and he ain't even blow his head off. He ain't flick the dude off. He didn't do this. He didn't do that, right? Like, whatever that situation is, whatever that looks like for you guys, like, keep in mind that there are always eyes that are watching. There's always ears that are listening. I have kids, right? So I understand that everything I do is magnified times 10, times 1,000, right? Because they're looking at my example as their new normal, right? They're a product of their environment. You see what I'm saying? But I'm the one that controls the environment. I'm the one that has to say, hey, there's a better way. And I can't just tell them there's a better way and then not live it and not do it. I actually got to show them that there's a better way, and then they'll listen to how there's a better way. You know what I'm saying? And I got a teenager now. I got a teenage daughter now, and I'm starting to see fruit of that, where these influencers are coming in and kind of all up in her ear and kind of showing her like, hey, do this, do that, whatever. And she's taking it and kind of saying, no, there's a better way, right? That comes from the example that you set. And the best example, in my opinion, is followable excellence.
I agree. And it comes back to what we talked about earlier. Like, is your purpose solely about you, or is your purpose solely about others? So I know probably people didn't want to follow David when he was doing all the things that he was doing before, right?
Nope.
But now you're creating that followable excellence through your daughter, through your family, and through the friends and the relationship that you have. And it's because you're living in your purpose and you're walking the way God wants you to walk.
That's right.
And that's the way you want to live life. You're going to have struggles, but how do you handle those struggles whenever you go through those struggles, and still create that purpose of doing it the right way, where people still continue to, oh, David, he went through something. We all go through something, but he handled it this way. That's how I want to handle things.
If he can do it, I can do
Yeah.
it. Here's my question to the audience, man. What is your relationship with struggle like? Do you struggle well? Do you fold under pressure? Is everything a big deal? Are minor things major things? Do you sweat the small stuff? What is your relationship with struggle like? And I'll leave you guys with, oh no, go ahead.
That's some big questions to ask yourself.
Yeah.
And it ties into your purpose, man. You can really be honest with yourself and sit down and navigate through those questions and have honest answers. You can find some purpose in that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll leave you guys with this, man. As a believer, you know, I grew up always thinking that, and people would always tell me, you're going to have a gigantic ministry, man. And I always pictured myself on these stages, right? And like going to all these different countries and like preaching in English or in Spanish and having an interpreter doing it in their language. You know, like I used to always think that was the vision that God had for me. And you know what, he might still have that for me, right?
Amen. Speaking it, baby.
But here's one thing I'll leave you guys with, man, and I hope it helps, man. But the greatest ministry that you can have in your life is in the way that you live your life. It's in what you do every day. It's in the people that you touch. It's in how you treat people. It's in how you make them feel whenever they have a conversation with you or whenever they get in your presence. The greatest ministry in your life is the way you live your life. That's it for this particular episode. Stay tuned for the final installment of Living with Purpose. You know who it is. It's your boy Dayvito. That's Jerome Colbert. We are out.